in Leak City. I'm going to kick this on the FM. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. My name is Gardy. I have some guests in studio, and they are the A-Team from Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center on a beautiful Tuesday. Guys, how y'all doing today?
Oh, we are fantastic today. We're getting ready for Christmas at our house, at the office. Dr. Chapa's been really busy. He had to actually adjust Santa last week, so the elf Living Well had to adjust Santa. So we have these things are important. We're with 1 week out. Santa has to have things prepared.
Santa needs to be on his A game for sure.
Yeah, especially with Amazon and helping them out because
they work together now. Is that how that goes?
They're going to have to. They're going to have to because right now we're all still waiting on a few packages to show up at our houses.
Right.
And, my kids are older, so they'll be okay. Christmas might be December 26th, 27th. I don't know.
But when they're young enough, you really can kind of they don't know. Except for my son's 8. And so now he's looking at the calendar.
That's like the worst age, right? Like there's your age that you have to be.
He has that red Sharpie marking off day by day.
Yeah. It's like tomorrow's totally Christmas. Not today. Yeah. Don't turn on the TV or look at any smart device or anything like that. So
is he asking you to open presents? Can we open one? On today, is today the day? Can we just open one, Dad?
Right.
That kind of a deal.
Yeah, but we don't have any under the tree. And so he keeps asking, even before we had any, can I just open one present now? I was like, we really don't. If we had one, maybe we could. But this was maybe a couple weeks ago, right?
It's not so tempting, right? When you're not tempted to do it. I remember when my kids were little, we were kind of tempted,
Yeah.
And finally, you just give in and give them the PJs, right? You have
to. Yeah. My mom, she started labeling them with numbers, like a number system, because otherwise we'd be trying to rip them open and just peek a little bit, put it back.
System? You have to open them in this order?
Well, instead of our names on it, it was number 32. And we didn't know what that meant. I don't know. It was evens or odds or
smart.
If it was a range. I still don't know.
No one knew who 32 was for.
No one knew 32, 76,
Your
4.
Mom's a genius.
13. It was all over the place, right? So
all the tricks. We have to do all the tricks when our kids are little. So
yes. So we've been talking about stress, right?
Absolutely.
Do y'all think Santa gets stressed with it being this time of year?
I would say Santa's really gets a little stressed, but on the flip side, he's probably pretty excited. This is his big show, right? And so he's ready to go.
All year long for this. This is the moment.
This is the moment. And so there's so many things in life that get us stressed out, but they're actually good things. So it's a good stress. So I'm sure he's taking his adaptocrine like everybody else that gets stressed and has a lot on their plate, and he's taking his adaptocrine, taking his Neviton, and he's ready to kick it out in a couple of days. So.
Yes.
I think that's an important thing we need to remember is that if we're doing something worthwhile, it's going to be stressful, right? And if you're doing something you love, it should be stressful, right?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with the stress? Are you going to let the stress overwhelm you and consume you? Or are you going to let the stress motivate you to accomplish what needs done?
Try and channel it in a certain way.
Right.
Right. And you have to really understand why you do the things you do, And so, all the gift giving, and people talk about how that's not the meaning of Christmas, right? The meaning of Christmas, Jesus came to save the world from its sins, right? So this is what Christmas is really about. But when you go to it, God always asked us to add value to people, do things for people. And so when we're giving our gifts for our kids, we need to let go of the stress side of it and start remembering, hey, I'm doing this because I want to bless them. I want to love on them. I want to cherish those memories. I want to enjoy those smiles and those giggles when they're riding the new bikes and things like that. And we get caught up in the details of it and forget. And I think that's one of the biggest parts of it is that, Christmas throws us way off our routine. But on the flip side, it allows us to build memories. It allows us to have some special times with our families. And I think that's partly why this Christmas is so hard for so many people, because all those, I do a lot of Christmas shopping, right? I like Christmas shopping. It's always been stressful, but this year I've chosen to shop online. And I kind of miss going out and doing the things, getting out there and handling the stuff and picking the toys and things like that. And so, and so with this holiday season, the stresses are different, but we have to go back to our whys. Well, why do we do those things? Why do we go get all the gifts? Why do we, spend hours and hours on end cooking a big special dinner that everybody devours in 15 minutes, right? And so, like, that's really the game, right? What is your why? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? What do you actually get to do this Christmas, right? So, I get to have Christmas with my new grandbaby, right?
Yeah,
2
that's
months
awesome.
old. So
that's awesome.
That's, and I actually got to introduce him to our Christmas tradition. We watched Elf, and so I was like, we got to bring the baby. The baby's got to watch Elf
Starring
with us.
Dr. Chapa.
Well,
Oh.
it wasn't
No?
exactly like that at my house. It wasn't exactly like this. And I mean, Cash might have slept through the movie, but at the end he woke up and he gave me this great big smile, and so it's all good. So perfect Christmas, right?
Yeah, speaking of Elf, Dr. Chapa's been dressed as an elf at the office at least a couple times that I've seen so far on social media.
Yeah,
I popped in to get some, just to come and say hi, right? And he's dressed, hey, what's up? It's Dr. Chapa
Christmas
the elf.
spirit. Christmas
That was a
spirit.
pretty good impersonation. Do it again?
I'll throw one in later.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him pretty well. I talk to Dr. Chapa a lot.
And-
I forgot to set this bad boy up.
Oh, the dude don't move.
Oh, we
this
thought we
very
were going to have
important.
to miss that today.
Some more Chapaisms will be worked in. Do not worry. So I'm guessing Dr. Chapa not being here
so
is...
you have one more day. So the elf will be back at Living Well Clinical
Oh, he'll be
Nutrition
back.
Center tomorrow.
Okay.
He'll be there tomorrow.
I
So
was thinking
y'all
he's-
should stop by.
He's at the workshop, right? He has to be helping Santa Claus during this time. He calls in the big guns whenever he may get stressed. So Dr. Chapa had to come in with some supplements, come in with some suggestions, give him another adjustment, and just make it pretty much save Christmas.
Pretty much.
Dr. Chapa saves
Basically.
Christmas.
That's
Thank you.
it's good
Elf,
to know.
the sequel.
Yeah. Elf 2, starring
Elf.
Dr. Aaron Chapa. That always trips me out when there's a movie and they like totally change the main character. Like everybody notices they don't even try. It's like the first one was in the theater, second one straight to VHS, And now it's like, well, Netflix and everything else. And it's Elf 2, straight to Amazon On Demand, starring Dr. Aaron Chapa.
Please don't actually watch this.
It was fun to make. Yeah. Oh, man. So there's some people that are tuning in, and they are excited to see you guys.
awesome.
They're excited to see y'all here in
Those are
studio.
our friends.
I'm excited, too, that y'all are here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. So I usually, this fall, I've been teaching my son's class on Tuesdays, and so I haven't got to come out for months now. So I'm excited to be here.
So is he not learning today?
Not learning
It's
today.
Christmas break, right?
Actually, he might be learning today. He's going to help his granny get ready for Christmas. So
There you go.
he might be learning more than he does on an
Home ec.
average Tuesday.
Home ec.
Learn a lot.
Well, homeschoolers, we have to figure out how to put all of the lessons in. So
Molly, you're homeschooled too, right?
Yeah, through high school.
Okay, so here's the thing that I didn't understand for homeschool whenever we were all forced to do it. My son goes to Christian school. He goes to Abundant Life Christian School. And they were sending all of the schoolwork, like, here's his entire day worth of work, do it. And I was like on the internet saying, is this how normal homeschool works? I didn't think
No,
so.
That is not how normal homeschool
And I
works.
love Abundant Life Christian School. We made it through, and he learned as much as I could teach him. Yeah. But normal homeschool seems like it's a little bit different as
Well, you
far
have
as
to
like
think
time.
about it. It's designed for home. It's not. I mean, schools have definitely had a challenge to try to help their students in any way they can, because they've been backed into a corner, right? How do we give them the education we were giving them, but them not be here, right? So homeschooling is designed specifically between whether it's a small group of kids or your parents and the students. So it's a completely different dynamic, and it was intentionally designed for that intimate learning space. So it's nothing like it.
Now everything was like on the iPad, and it was like, well, read this and do that. And I was just like, man, because if my son sees a device, a phone, iPad, he's like, I'm going to YouTube. I'm going to play
Right.
my Roblox.
Khan Academy is my best friend.
Yeah, he's like, no. And I'm like, are you doing your work? And he's like, okay, yeah, totally. Playing Roblox.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you're not. And then it just became an issue. But
it's really interesting how much the relationship part of education, I think we forget, like, it's one thing to transfer information, but relationship is really important. I think that's why homeschooling works, because there's a relationship between the parents and the students, right?
And it's like set.
And the kids.
It's set. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking of location. Like, my son, like, oh, whenever I'm here at the table, I eat or whatever, you know. And then for him, it's like, well, now you're going to be doing your all-day schoolwork as opposed to the location here. You know, my son's pretty much a lot of like habit, a creature of habit. You know, he gets there. It's a lot about routine. It comes with health and exercise and supplements. And hey, I got to go see Chapa for an appointment. It's the same with kids, and as at least for me.
Absolutely. And so they've even done studies. I remember when I was in college, some of the studies showed that if you study in the same place that you are taking tests, you actually will do better. And so when I was in college, we actually would study in the rooms where we were going to be taking our tests. So we would go into those classrooms and study there.
It's interesting because since then there's been studies that if you study in the same place you sleep, like your dorm room, your sleep quality will decrease, your stress level increases while you're in the dorm room.
Yeah. Well, like that's like a home court advantage. You know, it's like, okay, well, this is where I'm taking the test, or this is where I'm practicing for the game, as opposed to whenever you are in your room. That's what Chapa's like, well, you shouldn't really probably watch TV in bed. You shouldn't have some lights on, because you want to have that set as a space where this is where we sleep and get rest, not where I'm trying to stay up and watch or lay in bed, or I'm studying. I can see how that can cause stress.
I think. And then you look at it and you look at all of our habits and how, if we're intentional about where we study, what we do, when we sleep, where we sleep, making sure that we're sleeping in a dark room. And so I think all of these things, these are habits that we need to look at. Are our habits serving us, or are our habits working against us? Are they a challenge for us? And so when we look at, sleep and what we eat and our exercise routines, and those are the things that start going out the window this time of year. And so you go back to this stress conversation. You're stressed because you don't have your normal routines and your habits that are well. So I work really hard, to get up in the morning, have my quiet time, go for my walk. And guess what? Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are no different.
Do the same.
And we're going to do the same thing. It's my birthday. Same thing. I'm going to do it.
When's your birthday?
Not till October. Not October.
Okay, October.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were saying it was on Christmas too.
No. Just any day. Like, we have a tendency to make excuses for why we don't do the same thing every day, why we don't take care of ourselves every day. And we get out of those routines. We get out of those things that, you don't get a award day one of going to the gym.
You should.
You should get an award day
one. Get a
one.
six-pack and like big biceps.
Not. You totally should not.
That would be nice. It would be nice.
But
that's what we want.
That's what we want.
Right.
And then we do it day 10, and we look in the mirror and we're like, dude, nothing's changed. And then you do it day 25 and nothing's changed. And, day 50 and nothing's changed, right? And you have to stick with it for long enough. And that's what we teach about nutrition all day long, is that you have to stick with it for it to make a difference. And the compounding effect of that difference is what really matters, is that over time, if you save 50 calories a day, it doesn't mean anything. But if you save 50 calories a day for 365 days, things start to really change. You start to see those effects. And I've seen so many people come into the clinic. We're getting ready for our January detox. And, there's the people that get this really amazing benefit on their very first detox. And then there's the people who lose 3 pounds. Mm-hmm. And they're like,
it's just 3 pounds.
I don't get it, right? But the ones that lose the 3 pounds and stick with it, by the end of the year, they're in a totally different boat.
Right.
But it's just 3 weeks, and it's 3 pounds.
Right.
And imagine if you kept that lifestyle going for an entire year. It's 52 pounds in a year. And if there was somebody that needs to lose that and wanted to, they would be so excited, ecstatic in just a year, 52 pounds.
Because that's the compounding effect of being consistent week in and week out and week in and week out. And so that's what we look to teach people. And so we're looking for, right now, it's funny. Dr. Chapa hates it. He's like, you can't use December as an excuse, right? You can't use it as an excuse. it's just an excuse. Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, I went to a party a couple of weeks ago, and 2 days after the party, I had one guy calling me because his blood pressure was high, and one guy calling me because, you know, he had no energy 2 days later. And I thought, you know, the effect of that sugar, it's going to affect you for 24, 48, 72 hours. And so when you make those decisions, you're making that choice, right? And so if we're going to make that decision on, you know, Christmas Day, and we're going to eat all the goodies at Grandma's house, we need to make sure that we're doing something to proactively help our bodies deal with that. And that's, you know, the other thing that we teach is that, you know, if you're going to make those decisions, you've got to watch out for things like that. So a lot of times I remember when my kids were little and you'd take them we would travel at Christmas because we lived 1,000 miles away from our closest relatives. And we would travel. And, you know, kids were like, they were like bouncing off the walls by the time you get there, right? And so what we don't realize is that all that little extra sugar, like that's why they're not acting like their best selves. And your sleep routines are off. And so we blame it on, oh, he didn't get his nap. But he didn't get his nap, and he didn't get his, you know, and he got the extra macaroni and cheese, and he got the extra Pop-Tart because we were all in a hurry. And
M&Ms don't melt in the car, so we got those too.
And so you just...
Dropping knowledge.
Yeah. And so you look at it and you go, hey, what are we doing to take care of those kids, take care of ourselves so that we don't fall off the wagon, so that our bodies don't crash on us, you know, December 26th. And that's what's really important for us, is to help people understand, like we have tools in our tool bag that help us. You know, we will give people enzymes. Enzacor is one of our favorite products to help people deal with those extra dairy and salts, extra foods that they're not really able to digest easily. So Digest Forte, bitter herbs, helps to digest food. So if you're going to eat those rich foods on the holidays, make sure your body has what it needs to digest them.
Prepare for it
ahead of time, and then watch on the backside what's happening along the way. How are things changing in your system? And so, you know, because Chapa's not here, and I have to make sure that we cover all the most important things.
Yes.
Like, the most important things. The very most important. Like, I can't, like, if he had called me 3.5 years ago and said, hey, why don't you come to work for me? We're going to talk about poop with everybody you meet for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I might have said he should find another girl, right? Like, I mean, Molly was coming. Maybe Molly was the right one. But when you look at that, and I go, hey, well, you know, I mean, he needs somebody. So anyway, we talk about this, and this matters so much, right? And so if we put that food in and the bowels slow down, the stress goes up, the irritability goes up, and then the immune system is taxed. And so then all of a sudden you're not feeling your best, and now you are a target for catching the next bug. And that's what happens every year at Christmas. We get together and we blame it on getting together that we're getting sick, but it's not always that we're getting together. It's that we put in the bad food, we slowed our digestive system, we stressed ourselves out trying to get the absolute right present at the right time, and here we are. And so we just have to teach people, if those bowels slow down, you have to do something about it. So you need intestinal cleanse 1. You need Aliforce. You need, you know, if you're far away and you can't get to our office, you need Smooth Move Tea. You have to get those bowels to move. Otherwise, you're going to be susceptible to illness. Yeah. You guys are hilarious. And so you don't want to be susceptible to illness the day after Christmas, right? And start the new year.
Yes.
Coughing in bed. So you want to be watching for those things.
Yeah, I got sick the week of Thanksgiving. I straight up got COVID. I got the coronavirus, and I had to quarantine at home with my family and had to get a fill-in. It was hard to watch, but Chapa still spread his good message, which is the most important thing. And getting back into the routine, that's one thing that you had said earlier. Well, for me, like, it took a couple weeks before I could even, like, get the strength to get back in. But that's the hardest thing. Like, even if you take one day off or, like, skipping the gym or just, like, not waking up at a certain time, man, it throws everything off. And then I'm trying to still get back into my groove of of everything that I have going on, plus with like the holiday time and trying to shop, and I couldn't leave the house. I was like looking on Amazon, but trying to stay awake. Like it's an interesting time right now. But this leads me to my next question that I wanted to ask. Is there any, and now that Chapa's not here, we can talk about this, right? And he won't watch this. He won't go. How far have we been going into this now? So we're over 20 minutes in. He won't get.
He's not on?
Yeah, not that I've seen. That? Is there anything that Dr. Chapa preaches or believes in that y'all don't necessarily agree with?
Oh.
That y'all are just like, you know what, Dr. Chapa, that's good. But then you're just like, yeah, I don't agree with you on that. Is there something, anything at all?
I think the coolest thing about our relationship with him is when we don't disagree with something, we hash it out. Like we don't give him ear candy and then we're like, oh.
You're right, Dr. Chapa, this is right.
Yeah.
But then you just like kind of have
Right.
that, not like a debate, but just like a conversation about it. Well, what about this? And in this situation, because not everything is 100%, it is what it is. There are some areas where it's individual cases.
And the reality is we're in the dark ages of nutrition, okay? So what we know about nutrition is nothing. Like, that's the reality.
And think about it. Most of what we know about nutrition, they've learned by trying to understand how drugs metabolize in the body. So they haven't even really...
Right. Or every vitamin that's been discovered has been because there was a disease first, right? And they found that this vitamin from this orange,
it helps.
Solved this disease. So the reality is there's still so much to debate and there's still so much to discover. And when you stop learning, you're out of business.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can learn together and just hash out whatever we disagree on is incredible.
And the cool thing about Dr. Chapa is, and I'm y'all are the same way, I'm sure, because that's how he surrounds himself, is people who are consistently learning, students trying to improve themselves. So if there was something that it was like, wow, I always thought this, but y'all helped me realize this, or I studied this and did more, it changed the way that I thought about this situation. I don't think he would be the person to be like, no.
Right. And our goal collectively is how can we better serve our patients? So when that is our collective goal and we're all on the same page, then if we discover that this supplement works better in this way together, then we can all better serve our patients.
Yeah.
And
cool.
So it's just really cool.
I think she's right. Like we do disagree on things now and then. Maybe all the time, but it's about iron sharpens iron, right? So we spend time, and so we work together, but to go research it out, go talk to other doctors, go find other ways. So when there's really not much of a disagreement, we come to an agreement on how things need to be done, and and I change, he changes, we all change, and so we see these different things, and we learn things. Like we go to different seminars sometimes than he goes to when we bring back an idea, and he'll be like, I tried that one, been there, done that, right? And then sometimes he's like, never heard that one, and we incorporate it, we try it, we look for our patients, because with this whole with where the world is right now, we feel like our job is more important than ever, to help people to be foundationally strong, healthy individuals, because the healthier you are, the better you're going to respond to coronavirus or whatever comes your way. That's the most important thing, is to be. And is there a guarantee? No. Like there's no guarantee. And the pathogens in the world are designed to bring us back to the dust of the earth. That's their job. And so they're going to try harder, and we continue to try harder. And in the middle of it, we're walking, serving the Lord, serving people, and that's how we get through each day, of our lives. And so we keep working through these processes to make ourselves better, to make ourselves stronger, to make ourselves more able to understand the physiological things that people are dealing with, because some of them are, honestly, they're complex for some people.
I would say for most.
Yeah. One of the things I think is so cool about God is that, we all know that if we ate McDonald's every day, it's not healthy for us. Like, it doesn't really, but we don't really know if you eat it once, or is it twice, or is it 10 times, or is it 100 times, or is it, how many times does it take for it to be a problem? And we don't really know that answer. And so, if you want to strive for optimal health, it needs to be closer to 0. And if you are not concerned about that and you have other priorities in your life, you'll go eat the things that you want to eat. And so we just help people to see slowly over time that, as they eat it less and less, they are healthier and healthier. And it doesn't have to happen overnight. When we talk doing the detox, that's an overnight switch. I'm flipping a switch. Mm-hmm. You have to be perfect on day 1 to stay on the detox. Now, we've seen people fall off the wagon even on a detox and still get results. But we want you to understand, like, what can you do to build those better habits? Because, see, for me, when I look at Christmas desserts, like, I'm not really tempted by the refined white sugar. So what
are you tempted by?
Oh, I'm tempted by sweet. I like sweet.
Okay.
So sweet's a good for me.
Yeah.
But I just choose to use things like coconut sugar instead of refined white sugar. So we have coconut sugar. And so the fun part about coconut sugar is in most recipes it's just a 1-to-1 replacement. So I can still eat my sweet treats and not have the same physiological response as I would get from the white sugar. So I have, what about fruit? Can you eat fruit? Yeah, absolutely. Can you sweeten things with dates? Absolutely. And you can have sweet things and you can have treats without it being over the top, right? And you can have a little bit. And so it's just not as hard as it was, day 1. I mean, I could go back to my first days as a patient at Living Well and, that whole idea of doing a food log day 1. Yeah, Dr. Chapa, you don't really need to see this. Right? Like, you really don't need to see this because I didn't eat well. I didn't really care. I didn't really know. And so, but slowly over time, that diet evolves if you just stick with it and you just have somebody in your corner. And that's what we choose to be at Living Well. We just want to be in your corner.
Yeah.
Let me get in your corner with you so that you can live better, feel better, make one better decision. And so I think the most fun is to watch people evolve over a period of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and see how they change and how they are more able and stronger to make the decisions that they make that will be those healthy habits when it comes to food. And not as tempted by the sugars and the, other foods that are the processed foods and the foods in a bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to prepare for it, right? And you have to make good plans along the way so that you can live well, be well.
And that's the really cool thing is that when you go to the gym, you don't see the change, but it's not that there's no change happening. I mean, day 10, you've torn those muscle fibers. They've started rebuilding. You've built up strength and endurance training is actually something that can prevent osteoporosis because it actually forces your bones to build and get stronger, right? So you're not seeing those changes happen, but in your first 30 days when you go visit your grandma and she tells you how you've changed and how you don't see those changes happening because you're so close, they're happening right in front of you. But when we see patients come in every month and we see them losing the weight, we see their complexion changing, we see that they're not holding their back because they're in so much pain anymore. They don't see those changes because they're so little and so day by day. But like we get to see miracles happen every day just because people have chosen to stick with it and change their habits like one at a time. And it's so cool.
That's why a lot of times gyms will take pictures because you have your before picture and it's like, right. Well, I've been doing this every day for 21 days or even like the detox that we're going to be starting in January. Maybe even take a picture. See, hey, how do I write some notes? How do I feel? Because as you get further away or it happens, sometimes those little slow things happen and you don't realize, man, I feel so much better. My clothes are fitting. But that's probably the first thing you notice. Oh, it's a little bit looser, but man, I don't notice anything big. But with the detox starting, it's January 6th or what day is it?
So January 5th is our kickoff class.
Okay.
That is our class where we're going to teach everybody how the detox works, right? And especially the people that are brand new to this, going over the grocery list, going over the ins and outs. How do you navigate the days? What supplements you're taking? How often you're taking them? That's going to be our kickoff class is January 5th. And then our actual kickoff day for the detox, day 1 of our 21-day detox is January 11th. And so that's pretty cool. The 11th, starting on that Monday, that means that the 31st is our last day. So this year we get it all done in January, and it's perfect day to start for me. So I'm excited.
Do y'all have like whenever you do a detox? Do you have goals? I know Molly was like, "I'm not going to eat a salad" or some stuff like that.
I did not eat a salad for 21 days.
So
it was incredible.
Are you going to have another goal within the detox? Because the detox and cleanse itself is for most people, is a pretty big goal. But if you've done multiple, do you do that goals within the detox?
Like for us personally?
Sure.
Well, sometimes. So sometimes we do goals like that. I mean, really, I think the most important thing for us is that we try to make sure that we get new ideas, new recipes, new concepts out to people throughout the detox. That's, from the clinic perspective, one of the things that you forget is how hard it is, right? And so
building the community just makes it that much. It's so much more important to build the community because we know what it was like to do.
Right.
Yourself.
And so, for me now, like the detox food isn't that different than my normal food. But that's not true for a lot of people. And so it's interesting. So I did this food sensitivity test last month and found out that I'm sensitive to eggs. And I've had eggs every day for 4.5 years thanks to Chapa's get a good healthy breakfast.
It's complete.
And so, and what's worse is that I love them. I absolutely love my egg breakfast. But I did the test, and I said I'm not going to spend the money on the test and not test out, this egg sensitivity. So I feel like maybe it's just like God showing me, hey, you know what?
I just skipped that one.
You got to start over. You got to start
over.
That.
It's like the egg test. Eggs are good. Like, I'm good.
And so, but it may not be. They might not be bad forever. But the thing is that what it's done is it's challenged me. Like, what the heck am I gonna eat for breakfast? Like, I like my eggs. Mm-hmm. Like, I really like my eggs. And so it's challenged me. And so I think going into the detox, it's a good reminder for me is that it doesn't hurt my feelings to eat soup for breakfast, but for new people, new people.
Cereal?
No. Soup. We eat soup for breakfast on the detox.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to have to because you got to have something with vegetables. And I mean, I don't know. It's not honey nut broccoli flakes or anything. I don't know what you're.
I could see y'all selling that. Like at Living Well, they're like, here's your honey nut broccoli flakes.
No.
Breakfast,
that
Chapa
will not
approved.
Make it past the marketing team.
Molly has way too much influence. She doesn't like carpet, as she calls it.
Is that broccoli?
Yeah.
Carpet? They're just little trees.
There's no
I like
difference.
them.
There's no difference.
Well, as a kid, you just put the liquid cheese on there, but I know now cheese in general is really not a good idea. And then like the fake cheese that they would give us.
Even better, right?
Yeah.
Full of some MSG, partially hydrogenated oils, and see how that turns out in your system. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean I have, hardening of the arteries? Well, you've been putting it in on a regular basis.
Is that why I haven't pooped in 3 days? Oh, yes, that would be it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and that's the hard thing, and so it's fun to see, sometimes, we have to tell our patients the same thing over and over. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things that we forget is that you have to be reminded of these things. And that's why we want, I used to tell Dr. Chapa, I was like, please don't charge me for telling me the same thing over and 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 over. Like, please don't charge me by the time. If he charged me by the number of times he had to say, take your adaptogene Naviton Mintrin, I'd still owe him a lot of money.
Hey, here's a question that came in. This is from Tammy. Thank you for asking. Feel free to ask questions if you're listening and watching on KHEA Radio's Facebook. Tammy said, what test did you do for the food sensitivity?
Yeah, we do the KBMO test at Living Well.
Y'all have one there?
Mm-hmm, we do that test. We don't do a ton of it because most of the time, if you take the top inflammatory foods out of the diet, which would be your wheat, corn, soy, dairy, those things, if we take those things out, most of the minor food sensitivities kind of go away. When you do those tests, when people are eating a lot of junk, they sometimes aren't as accurate, but the KBMO test gives us an idea. And so, it might change over time. Even the KBMO people tell you take those things out 4 to 6 weeks and then put them back in. See if you notice the difference. And that's one of the most important things when you're looking at food sensitivities. A lot of people don't recognize their food sensitivities. You know, they don't recognize. We don't have a perspective. You know, I talk to, you know, hundreds of people about their poop, right? And so I have a pretty good idea. Like, you know, people are like, oh, how's your poop? They're like, normal? I'm like, I need more than that. Like, normal. How many people have you talked to about this? How many people have you asked what their poop looks like, right? So you really don't know what's normal unless you've, you know, looked into it a little more detailed. And so, you know, I had this one guy, you know, you poop every day? Yep, twice a day. Oh, good. And then we follow up at Living Well and we ask, you know, any enemas, suppositories, laxative. Do you take any of those things? Twice a day. I do an enema. I'm like, I would make you poop twice a day, dude. Like, and so that's not normal. So it is twice a day, but it's not normal. And so we just look at these things and we go, so for him, that's normal. He thought that was normal. And then I've had, you know, dozens of people come in every other day, twice a week, 3 times a week. And so long-term health, you're going to lose your long-term health if you're not eliminating the toxins that you're putting into your body every day. We kind of think of ourselves as kind of a toxic filter, right? Where we're filtering through the toxins every day. They're coming in through the air you breathe, through the food you eat. They're coming in guaranteed, and your body should be able to eliminate them. And I think that's one of the coolest things about the way the Lord made the body is that there's so many different pathways for detoxification. And so if this one's not working well, the body shunts things through this one. And it's really cool. There's a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. And that's why your MSG, your, you know, processed sugars, they don't kill you immediately because God was smart enough to know that we couldn't get it completely right. And he gave our bodies a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and the detox pathways. And the thing is that, you know, it's like the idea of a cat with 9 lives. Eventually you're going to run out, right? Eventually it's going to catch up with you. And so people will come in and they'll say, well, I've been healthy all my life and I suddenly gained 10 pounds. Well, you didn't suddenly gain 10 pounds. You suddenly saw the effects of 20, 30, 40, 50 years of bad choices. And so we think it happens suddenly, but it's not all that sudden.
Yeah, it creeps up on you for sure. So, you know, I feel like the Detox Cleanse is coming up as a good way to kind of reset, start some new habits. Molly, for you, is there any goals that you have within it? Are you going to be doing any, like, I'm not eating salad again, or I'm only going to eat onions? I recommend that one.
I think you should do the I'm only eating salad this time.
No. Is there anything that you've thought about?
We won't do that. We won't do that.
You know, I'm in the middle of school, right? So doing the detox when I was living on campus, it was probably like the hardest. I've done like 6 something like that. I don't know, but that was the hardest detox last January because I was in the middle of school and I didn't have a kitchen. That was horrible. So I've done a detox without a kitchen. I've done a detox without salads. So I don't know. I'll think about it. And
I'm expecting some big things.
Salads only
shock us.
Sounds horrible.
I'm like the onions only.
No,
that's too much sugar.
Oh, I don't know.
Onions have too much sugar, and it's not
bell
green.
peppers only. Green, green bell peppers only.
No, we won't do that. I think we'll just continue to build ideas, and I think one of the things about doing the detox is bring a friend. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, bring a friend. You need to put friends in this. We have a family that did the detox, and the son worked at a bakery, right? He works at a bakery. And so this is just the best story ever, though, because so he works at this bakery, and I cannot imagine my family deciding to do a detox and that the whole family is going to do it. And he's, you know, teenager, and the family decides they're doing a detox together, so they do it. So he tells his boss that he's doing this detox, and the boss says, that's going to be really hard, you know, to come in here every day and do the detox. And you know what she does? She says, I'm going to do it with you.
The boss, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that great?
The
and
owner
so
of the
the owner
bakery.
of the bakery did a detox in September and got such amazing results, right? Like she sold on the whole idea of detox after all these years, and she still loves her bakery, and that's fine too. But you just look at it and you go, like, bring a friend. Like, tell somebody you're doing the detox, and I think that is a key to not only your success, but on helping everybody get on the right health and wellness train. Because there's a little quote here I brought here from this is from a book called Lick the Sugar Habit by Nancy Appleton. And it says, the only difference between a well person and a person with a health breakdown is that the well person can efficiently rebalance his or her body chemistry. And that's what the detox is designed to do, help you to be more efficient in rebuilding your body chemistry. When things go awry, how quickly do you get back on track?
And notice that didn't say who never has body chemistry issues.
Right.
Right. A healthy person never has symptoms. A healthy person never has health challenges. It's just the healthy person knows how to restore normal function, knows how to get back on the wagon, knows how to fix the issues that have come up.
And I think that's one of the things, what we love the most at Living Well. And so we just have to keep telling you guys, like telling people, because I think one of the things that Dr. Chapa does, Molly does, that I do, like we always know where our tools are, and so when I start feeling a little bit of lymphatic congestion, I go grab Spanish black radish, just like that. And so if I had to go grow Spanish black radish, go grow it, wait for it to grow, and eat it only when it's available.
I feel like it would taste so much better. You put that much work in, that you'd be like, I don't want to eat it, or like I just want to cherish it.
It's a trade-off, right? Like it's a trade-off. We've got benefits of our culture that we wouldn't have otherwise, right? And so we, you go back to it, and it's like, if we could just grow it, well, I mean, we may have to at some point, but the reality is, I need Spanish black radish when my lymphatics are clogged up, and I need to know to move. If the dude don't move, the dude don't groove.
The dude don't groove. It's facts.
Right?
It's on the towel.
It's on the towel now. It
has to be true.
I have definitely not been here in way too long when you got the towel with the Chapaisms. Like, can we have flags?
I'm going to get more printed on that towel.
We need flags. We need flags.
This was actually a gift. Chapa brought it in, and he was like, hey, someone, they tune in regularly, watched it, just like, gave this, and I was like, thank you so much. And so I've been having it up there. I love it.
Beautiful. That's
I love
beautiful.
it. Yeah.
And so we just have to keep our Chapaisms in check, I guess.
There's a ton. I know he's working on his book, and I'm sure he's working on a million other ideas, probably a million other books too, but I feel like it could be a book of Chapaisms. And that's it.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's
no
it.
context, no explanation.
No context, nothing. Like if it was, maybe he could even like reference a scripture at the bottom or something like that. And it was like the dude don't move, the dude don't groove. And then you could just put like a
Chapa
scripture at the
2:22.
bottom. And I'm like, what does Chapa 2:22 say? And then you have to go back to like season 2.
Wait.
Back up. Do you see lightning?
I do. I do. It's looking scary around here.
Is that thunder?
Yeah, but he has a lot, and I know I know his schedule's different on Tuesday. That's why he's able to come in here. So I know he's probably shopping, helping Santa, doing, I don't know, who knows. But I miss him. I'll have to text him.
Text him, tell him that you missed him, and that sending in the B team is.
So one thing that you said earlier was that, the importance of telling a friend. This is probably the easiest time to recruit somebody to improve their health that you care about. Because most people want to do something, especially at the beginning of the year. They just don't know what to do. They don't know what works. And so for me, I could tell somebody like, hey, I've done this detox cleanse. I think I've done it like 4 times, and it works. It's 21 days, and I could kind of be that advocate for their health.
Right.
And they don't even realize how much they need it.
I mean, I think one of the things that, we do, Molly and I do, is we share recipes and we cook for each other some during the detox. And that makes a world of difference, is to have,
Guys,
a couple of friends.
How come y'all aren't cooking for me? Just like drop something off,
Just drop it off.
People are dropping towels. We have Chapa come up with like, Gardy, here's your breakfast. How much easier that would be.
If we could just
think about it. Just think about it. Don't say it.
Well,
Don't say
hey,
yes or no.
so look, like we could just send that out, to the masses of the Living Well tribe. Like, there's people that want food. Like, y'all can make some food and make some money in January when after you've run out of money in December, you can start cooking for the Detox crew. We look for it. I know, we've used the Prepping Sisters. We've used them in the past, and so we try to help each other out, and that's why we try to help. I mean, I can't really always come into your house, but that's why we work so hard to get you new recipes and new ideas, and some that are easier to do than others, so because we need easy.
Yeah.
And so
here's another comment from Joel. She said, "I've been waiting for this." I think a lot of people have. You wanted 2021. I think it's important to set goals, but we're ready. We're ready for 2021. 2020, it caught us off guard, but now we at least know what we're expecting. We can kind of see what the way that the world is going, and now it's time to take control of your health. And it's also time to recruit your friends and loved ones and have them take control of their health too. It comes more from you, because Chapa can say it all day long. I can say it all day long, but you have that rapport, you have that relationship with them, and you can, legitimately care and love them to where it's different coming from you.
Remember, it's like 3 months of work in 3 weeks. Like, you don't really get that much of a payoff on much of other things that you do, in life, where you get that kind of a bang for your buck. And so we definitely see that.
I was going to say Bitcoin, just Bitcoin, like this past month or so. That's it. But no, Jesus. But no, that's
Bitcoin,
true.
That's where you're getting your.
You usually don't get 3 months of work.
But look, don't, like, January 11th is kind of a long way away. And so, like, Chapa's not here to rein us back in. And as excited as we are about the detox, you got to take care of your health this week, right? And so you can't wait till next week. So you have to watch. And so if you have high sugar cravings, you can get to the office today and tomorrow and get you some Gymnema, right? And Gymnema blocks the sugar receptors in the tongue for a few hours. So and it also balances your blood sugar in your body. So get to the office, get some Gymnema. Make sure that the bowels are moving. Make sure your kids' bowels are moving. It's funny, the first time my son went in to see Dr. Chapa, "Do you poop every day?" And it's like, what kind of stupid question is that? And no,
of course I don't.
Right? And no. And Dr. Chapa looked at me and says, "Did you know that, Mom?" And I'm like, dude, we don't talk about these things at my house, right? The irony is so hilarious. And so, but here's the deal. And so if the bowels are moving, then the kids are going to be healthier, right? And so they're not going to get sick. And so the good thing about kids is that they move a lot, right? So you want to make sure that they're out running around playing, because that kickstarts that lymphatic system, helps them to stay well. We kind of think the opposite. We don't want them to be sedentary. And so we want them to get out and move. We want them to pump up that lymphatic system. That's why Dr. Chapa moves all the time. Yeah. He's just trying to get the lymphatics moving.
I was talking to someone about this morning. I was talking about how I got sick and I wasn't feeling well. And then, Dr. Chapa, he'd even sent, a message to me, and I've been listening to him for years now. Talk about, the dude don't move, dude don't grow. But like these viruses and sicknesses don't like movement. So if you're, and you don't feel good, you want to lay down in bed, cover up and curl up. And I guess that's like the perfect environment to kind of let these things do what they want to do. They're designed to do. But getting up, moving around, even whenever you don't feel well or like trouble breathing, your muscles are sore, body aches, just like that's what I did. I just started walking around the house just a little bit to get my body going.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much to at least make that difference. And so, but you also, you want to make sure that anytime, those bowels slow down, that we do something about it. We've got to do something about it, because if not, you're going to be subject to that sickness. And so we want to make sure that people understand that they have tools. So, don't walk into Christmas Day without your Cleanse 1, your Alloforce, your Colax. Like those are supplements that you're going to need to get through the crazy food of the next few days.
Right now it's 9:52. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. My name's Gardy. I'm hanging out here talking with Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center located in Leak City. Molly, are you reading these comments? Did you see that one from Crystal? I don't know if you want to read that one.
I don't see that one, actually.
Oh, it says it's from Crystal. It says, Molly, Dad says 4 times before 10 a.m. I don't know. I'm guessing they're talking of going back to the restroom talk that we're having.
That's
You can't see it?
No, I can't see it.
No, oh, that's awesome. So, and that's the thing. So, and and the other thing that you have to remember is that you're going to be off your game. Your kids are going to be off your game.
That's awesome.
Everybody has to get their bowels moving, right? So,
Right.
And so, but the other thing to remember, going back to where we started when we started here, almost an hour ago, is the holiday stress, right? And so, if I had $1 for every time Dr. Chapa told me adaptocrine, Mentran, Neviton, adaptocrine, Mentran, Neviton, and so when you're stressed, when you're overwhelmed, when you're anxious about things that that are even good things, you go back to those adaptocrine, Mentran, Neviton. That trio is going to help your stress response. And so sometimes it takes taking those kind of supplements every hour. And you take them every hour.
Right.
And then 3 or 4 hours later, you find yourself enjoying your holiday again. And so sometimes you just have to be willing to take the tools out of the tool chest. I tell people all the time, these supplements, they don't work in the bottles.
You can buy them all day long.
You can buy them all day long. And
right.
honestly, as much as we want to sell supplements, we don't want to sell supplements. We want you to take supplements. And there's a big difference. We want you to take supplements because we know the effect that you can get on your body, that you can change that physiology so fast, that chemistry so fast. I mean, when I've been sick in the past, I would be sick for days on end. Now, when I'm sick for hours.
Right.
Like 1 or 2 hours. 6 hours we kick something. And so I don't have day in and day out in the bed, not to say that it'll never happen, that a bug that wouldn't be that big could get, but if the bowels slow down, I don't wait to get sick. If I'm stressed, if my stress level is 7, 8, 9, or 10, I don't wait, for Molly to come say, you're stressed out, go take your supplements. Like, I go take my supplements.
Molly, do you do that to some people around the office?
Yes.
Call them out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we why wouldn't we help each other?
I asked Chapa one time, I was like, do you and your wife ever get like almost like passive aggressive? It's like, well, you need to take your adaptocrine. Yeah. And it's just like, well, okay, maybe I do. And he said, I'm pretty sure he said, he was like, yes, sometimes.
I was actually at Jennifer's house one time, and her husband, he's a professor, right? And at a university. And he's been at home this whole semester.
Oh, yeah. That's different.
March.
That's different, yeah.
Since March. So he was coming out of a meeting in the bed, like in his bedroom because it's Zoom, whatever.
Yeah.
Coming out of a meeting, and he's one of the most cool guys. Like, nothing phases him. He's just chill, and he was hot and fuming. And so I go to the medicine cabinet, grab Neviton, open his hand, put it in. Says, I need you to take these, Paul. You need some Neviton in your life right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we help each other?
Right.
We do that, and so if you can accept the fact that you can't always see into yourself, right? Like, I can't always see into myself. I don't see myself exploding the way somebody from the outside can see it. You always you can see everybody else's problems. If you think you're hiding your problems from somebody, like, you're not. Like, people see it, right? And so when you see it, and if you have people that you trust, that you can say, who can just speak into your life and say, dude, adaptocrine, Mentran, and Neviton, like, do it again.
And then do the Detox and Cleanse and see how your life is on February 1st.
February 1st is going to be a good day, so we're looking forward to it.
So can we touch on those dates one more time before we sew up the show today?
Absolutely. So January. So we're going to have some great classes this year. January 5th, we'll do our kickoff class where we're going to be teaching you how to do the detox. The 12th, the 19th, and the 26th, we are going to be having classes over at Butler's Courtyard. So we're really excited about our detox classes this year. So getting people out to just share in what they're learning, to learn about the kinds of toxins in the environment, how your body deals with those toxins, and how you can continue to live well, be well through the detox and then on the outside. So every Tuesday we'll be teaching in January. So
all right.
12th, 19th, 26th. So
now's the time to find out information, kind of make your plan and see what it's all about. If you've never done one, I've done 4, so you need to catch up. Molly said she's done 6. You need to catch up. And what about you, Jennifer? How many have you done?
I I think I'm at like 6. I have had trouble keeping up with this. I need to like.
I remember last time I asked you said, well, I kind of live that way most of the time. So
I do, but I mean, like, so we do, and we do a lot of the detox supplements year round, right?
Yeah.
Like we take SP Cleanse
like all
year
the time.
round, all the time, and but it's important. But I've done at least 6 of the actual 21-day detox, but we do now and then. We'll do like a little 10-day cleanse, and there's a lot of other little cleanses that we do. We do liver gallbladder cleanses. We do bowel cleanses. We do a lot of other kinds of cleanses, and so when you add them all up, at some point, Chapa likes to keep track, and so he likes his number.
It's his golden detox cleanse. Did y'all hear us talk about that? Did he say?
Yeah, it's for his 40-second detox. So he says
it's like the age he is, his 40-second detox, and it's like half of, I don't know, it was a whole big thing.
Yeah, so it's
magical.
gonna be 21, right? 21 days and 21. Like, so it's our golden detox. So we're gonna have fun with it. We always have fun with it, just because it's so powerful for us. And then and it also, everything's more fun with your friends, right? So we love getting to see some of our friends at those classes and getting to just share life with people.
Yeah, it's also the community of it. Yeah. The community and I
think that's something we've lost so much in 2020. And so we just at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we just carry on like we're a community. We love each other. We want to support each other. One of my favorite things is when our patients become friends.
Right.
Through supporting each other through the detox. And I've seen that happen even just through our detox Facebook group. They will kind of befriend each other. They'll kind of find a little somebody, and then they'll meet at our classes and have a lot of fun. So cool. This builds relationships, which is what it's all about. If you're going to share the gospel and share it out, you have to have people. You have to have people that you're in contact with. And so I think that's one of the biggest losses of 2020, and something we can take into 2021 is, how are we going to, if we're going to continue to be limited on what we can do socially, if we're going to continue to be limited, how do we continue to share the Great Commission? How do we share the gospel with people? And so, Christmas, this is the best time, right? Because Jesus came. He came, and he didn't come to be a baby. He came to save sinners from their selves. So we're looking forward to it. Another year.
Is there anything else I'd like to share? Molly, you got some wisdom? Have you thought about the onion cleanse?
Oh, dear Lord.
No?
We're not doing an onion cleanse.
Just
Our goal is to
praise God.
Raw.
No onion cleanse.
Raw onion cleanse.
No.
It's not happening.
Okay, so look, Gardy, Dr. Chapa always says when you have an idea.
Okay, do it yourself?
Your idea, you report back.
All right, I'll let you guys know.
I think the most important thing is to just focus on this week. Don't get through this week. Just get from this week and see what you can give to others. See what you can learn from others this week, and just build the relationship to go into 2020. Not to try to survive the rest of the year and then conquer 2021, but to just...
We could start thriving now.
Right.
We start thriving now.
We don't have to wait.
Look for what you can enjoy this Christmas season. So, the little things.
Well, I'm glad I had y'all in studio today.
All right.
I appreciate y'all coming in.
All right.
And hopefully it won't be, I don't know, another 3 months or something. We'll get y'all back in earlier. Chapa will let y'all hang out.
Merry Christmas, Cardi.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right, Facebook, y'all be blessed. Again, feel free to share this out. If y'all have any questions, ask them, and we'll get back to you.